Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome in our Microsoft Entra Permission Management video. In this video, we will be going to talk about Microsoft Entra Permission Management tool, which Microsoft have recently launched. In this video, we will be going to have the basic understanding about the what is the permission management is, what is the permission is and why it's important. We're going to talk about Microsoft Intra products. What are the key use case for this tool? What are the key capabilities? And then I would be going to walk you through with a little bit of demo where I would be going to show you how your Microsoft Intra uh, permission management tool look like, what are and kind of the work you can do. So there's a little bit of demo I would be going to show you about this tool. So let's quickly jump to the introduction. So the permission management in a cloud infrastructure entitlement management, which is also called as a CIEM solution, that's provide comprehensive visibility into the permission assigned to all identities. For example, of our privileged workload and the user identities, action, and the resources across the multi-cloud infrastructure in the Microsoft, Amazon, and Google Cloud platform. Permission management detect automatically right sizes and continuously monitor unused and access permissions, right? So these are the thing which is the permission management tool. That's where this new tool, which is the inter management, is going to come in place. This is something which Microsoft has acquired one of the organization, basically, which is a Cloud Knox, and that Cloud Knox tool basically have Microsoft rebadged to the Microsoft intra permission management tool. The organization have to consider the permission management as a central piece of their zero trust security to implement least privilege across their entire infrastructure, including the all the hyperscalers. The three major hyperscaler which is there is Azure, AWS, and GCP. Right. So organizations are increasing adopting multi-cloud strategy and are struggling with the lack of visibility and the increasing complexity of managing their access permissions, right? uh, with the proliferations complex complexity of the managing access permissions, and then the number of the risk cloud permission is expanding the alert attack surface for organization. IT security teams are under increased pressure to ensure the access to their expanding cloud state is secure and complicated. The inconsistency of cloud provider native access management model make it even more complex for security and identity to manage the permission and enforce the least privilege access policy across the entire environment. So that's the problem we have, because now organizations are basically are uh, adopting the multi-cloud strategy. They are basically thinking about to have a minimum two cloud or having a workload spread across the two clouds. That's where the complexity increase of how exactly you want to manage the access and permission, because this is something is like how exactly you want to have a single identity, is how you want to have the centralized portal where you can manage the identity. Now other thing have, like with this one, it's increasing the number of risk of cloud permission, right, and expanding the attack surface for organizations. IT security team is always under pressure because they are not getting the right tool which they can use for centralized management for the permissions. And again, the inconsistency of the cloud provider native access management module, like some of the modules I can talk about the AWS, right? That's where AWS does not have their own AD. They can be integrated with the Azure AD for the centralized management, which is the one of the pain, because AWS do have their own identity management, but it's not at the enterprise level. And you can integrate the Azure AD for the authentication, but again you have to manage the permission at the two central point. So all of these are the basically the pain which is getting increasing by adopting the multi-cloud strategy, right? So this is how the permission management look like, which is the intra permission management. So intra permission management is a one of the tool which allows you to manage their user identity, and those user identities can be directly managed from the single portal. You can add all the hyperscalers, like the major hyperscaler like GCP, AWS, and Azure with the intra permission management, and you can manage all the identities permission from a single pane of glass. And same way you can also have your other identity provider integrated with the intra permission management tool. Now Microsoft Intra Permission Management basically have a three product in it. One is the Azure Active Directory, which can be safeguard your organization with identity and access management solution. Second one is the Microsoft Intra Permission Management, which is the one of the tool can help you to discover, remediate, and monitor the permission risk across your multi-cloud infrastructure with a cloud infrastructure uh, entitlement management, which is also known as a CIEM, right? And the other one is Microsoft Entra verified ID. It's create issues and verify privacy expecting decentralization identity identity credentials with the identity verification solutions that help you to enable more secure interaction with anyone and anything, right? So these are the three tool which is there with this Microsoft Intra products. What are the use case we have, right? So the permission management allow customer to address the three key use case: discover, remediate, and monitor. The permission management have designed in such a way that we recommended your organization sequentially step through each of below phases in order to gain the insight into the permission across the organization. This is because you generally cannot action what is yet to be discovered. Likewise, you cannot continue evaluate what is yet to be remediated, right? So the first use case is discover. Customer can assess permission risk by evaluating the gap between permission granted and the permission used. Cross cloud permission discovery, that something is there. Permission creep index, which is PSI, the aggregated metric that uh, evaluate on a regular basis the level of risk associated with the number of unused or the and the access permissions across your identities and the resources. The third one which we have a permission uses analytics, multi-dimension view of the permission risk for all the identities, action, and the resources. So this is how it discover. The next is the remediate. A customer can right size the permission based on users, grant new permission on demand, and automate just-in-time access for the cloud resources. Automated deletion of permission unused for past 90 days. Permission on demand, granted identities permission on demand for a time limit period or a needed basis, which is also called as a privileged identity management. The third one which we have a monitor. Customer can detect all the anonymous activities or the other activities with the machine learning or the ML language powered alerts and the generated the detailed forensic reports. ML powered anomaly detections, context rich forensic report around identities, action, and the resource to support the rapid investigation and remediation, right? So these are the three use case we have. The permission management depends zero trust security strategies by basically having the least privilege access principle, following customer to get the comprehensive visibility, discover what identity is doing what, where, and when. Second, automate least privilege access. Third, unify the access policies across the infrastructure as a service platform, right? So that's three thing which is there, which need to be depends zero trust security strategy, and you have to have, and then we do have need to have the least privilege access principle with this all the resources. What are the key capabilities we have with the Microsoft Entra permission management? uh, cross cloud visibilities, like that's something we have. We can basically have our GCP, AWS, and as well as Azure integrated with the intra permission management. Then that's from where we can have done all the assessment, monitoring, remediations can be done, automated remediation. So this is something is there. You can download the fixes for misconfiguration policies and have intra permission management remediate them on behalf of you. That's something you can do. Anomaly detection and alert. So with intra permission management, you have integrated audit and compliance engine that continuously monitor and report on any anomaly, including the vulnerabilities, misconfiguration, the compliance violation. Detailed forensic report, that something is a very important in terms of when the attack is happen. Intra permission management offer out of box forensic report that help your team to get into the front of potential risk. You can fully customize these reports to have them meet with the specific compliance reporting required with your need for your business, right? So that's something is there. Detailed forensic report is there, and that as gone as another level where you can modify the forensic report with the requirement and with the information as per your business need. So these are the capabilities which is there, right? So let's quickly jump to the demo. So in the demo, I would be going to show you how your intra permission management tool look like. So when you go to the intra.microsoft.com, that's where your Microsoft intra console look open. So simple is intra.microsoft.com URL. You need to hit on that. You need to have your Azure AD account, and once you have that, you can basically directly log in on the intra admin center. And once you log in on there, you would be able to see that three products which is there. First is the Azure Active Directory, which is a very simple or very straightforward. We basically have with all the Azure subscription, we need to have the Active Directory, and from where it's completely manage the identities. The second one is the permission management tool, which is a very important in terms of how exactly we want to discover, remediate, and monitor our permission risk for any identities and resources. The third one is the verify ID, create, issue, and verify decentralized identity credential for a secure interaction. So that's three things which is there. Now if you go here, this is how your Active Directory look like. From here you can add your more users, you can delete your users, you can have your user settings done. So that's something you can do. It's the same console which is there on the Azure Active Directory. You will be going to get a same set of console with this one, right? And if you go with the application, you will be able to see if there's any enterprise applications or is there any app registration you want to do. That's something you could. So from an Azure AD perspective, it's completely a same one, but from the permission management is completely a different one, right? So when you click on the permission management, it's going to be open a new tab, and it will be going to redirect you for this page, which is the c15.app.ciem.cloudnox.io. Why you seeing the cloudnox.io? Because this complete product is developed by cloudnox.io, and in last year Microsoft acquired this organization which is known as a cloudnox.io to have this CIEM uh, tool to be have with the integrated with Azure Active Directory, right? So if you go with this intra permission management tool, you can see there's a plenty of options. You do have the dashboard, you can see the analytics report, you can see the remediations, you do have the autopilot mode from where you can automatically have your remediations, you automatically have your risks to be fixed. You do have the audit, you do have the reporting options, and you do have the help from where you can see, you can get more information about the intra permission management tool. It will be going to redirect you to the learn.microsoft.com page. Now, if you're saying I have only two options visible, which is the remediation and then the help, because it's my trial account, so that's the reason it's not allowing me to have the dashboard, analytics, autopilot, and audit and report. It might take some time because this is just I have just enabled this one, so most probably I am thinking about they are not part of the trial, but might be available after 24 hours, because this is something need to be provisioned in the backend. Now if you go into the policy, you can see what are the policies or anything has been configured. If you want to see your settings, you can see the settings. If you want to see your permissions, so all of those remediations can be configured here. Now if you so this is how basically is there, right? Now if you go to the sorry, just let me refresh this one once, because it's redirecting on a different page. So there is a way like how exactly you can enroll the AWS account, how you can enroll the GCP account, or how exactly you can enroll the Azure account. You might be thinking about like this is the Active Directory where my subscriptions are there, and I can go ahead and simply, you know, enroll those subscription in this intra permission management. No, that's not true. That's it's not possible somewhere. So you need to have, or you need to actually create the permissions for your subscriptions to be there, and then only you would be able to do it. So if you say, if you really want to go with the AWS, click on create configurations. You need to basically have these things created, right? You need to provide the OSC ID, you need to provide the account role, and then from here you can basically have everything. So let's take an example. I need to provide the account ID. As soon as provided, it's going to be validated if it is not, and then from here it will be, you need to just click on next, and from here you will be able to see what are the commands or what are the CLI option is there to have your data collection enabled for your AWS account. At the same way you can go for Azure. If you click on create configuration, you will be see there is the reader permission need to be created for the subscription ID, right? So from where the as soon as you did it, it would, the data collection will be enabled for basically for the subscription as soon. And also you can have your enter authorized system also. Here you can uh, enter your subscription ID, and as soon as you did it, it will be going to give you the updated command. Like let's say if I go this one, so you can do that, and it will be going that. The same way we do have a select authorization system. We have a three-way how exactly we want to do this, right? At the same time, we can basically have a same configuration, like where we can enable the data correction sorry, from GCP as well. If you click on the configuration, same way you need to give the OICDC project and the other things, GSUT secret name and the user ID, and then you would be able to get it connected with the this tool, right? So that's how you can configure it. A part of that, you can see your authorization system, right? You can see your inventories. You can see the inventories for your AWS, Azure, GCP. You can see is there any licensing informations are there. So that's how you can do. A part of that, analytics, autopilot options, or all of these options are there, right? So this is how your intra permission management look like. A part of that, the third tool is verify ID. For the verify ID, you need to first set up your organization, right? You need to have your key vault integrated with this one, because that's where it save your IDs or the permissions or the credentials to have the decentralized authentication, right? So you can define what is your trust system is, you can define your organization name, you can define your trusted domain name from which authentication need to be happen, and then you need to basically have your key vault integrated with this one so that it can store the authentication information. Well, that's it in the demo. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming videos, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.